is compelling to me. And something that came, and again, this is opinion. I didn't cover it because it's opinion, but a lot of people felt at Turning Point USA, and I do mean a lot of people, as in the wonderful people that work for the organization that are not at the top, right? And they felt that Mikey McCoy was kind of being positioned to take over for Charlie Kirk. And I never again covered it because, feelings are not facts. But given the picture that we now have of his father and what his father is involved in, and the fact that Charlie was kind of veering from what I think was a predetermined course for Turning Point USA, I have a lot of questions. Also, another person who wrote us was telling me the story about Tyler Boyer's involvement in Maricopa County politics in general. What did he do before in Arizona? And yeah, it's just the kind of stories. Again, he said he approached him several times about embezzlement. Tyler was hooking up with young male interns, or young male workers. And he didn't even care. He's like, I will go on record because all of this happened. And I had the proof that all of this happened. And everybody knows about Tyler Boyer at Turning Point USA. It's like an absurdity. But this is the person that is putting people into places of power at Turning Point USA. He's just involved. And something that was interesting is also how many Russian speakers there are. I was telling you, UVU, there's just a lot of Russians and people who study Soviet studies. Even the president of UVU majored in Soviet studies. Tyler Boyer majored in Soviet studies. He's a fluent Russian speaker. He spent years. And I'm going to assume when I say they speak Russian, that they're probably more tied to Ukraine. Kind of coming full circle on that, because a lot of times people wrongly assume that people who speak Russian are Russian. And actually, Ukrainians, until they made it a law, they had to stop speaking Russian quite recently, were Russian speakers, right? Because it's Russia and it's their home. So it's interesting to consider that there are a lot of, I think even Mikey McCoy's wife might be Ukrainian. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But that's something that I think is interesting as well. Or could be interesting. It might not be interesting, but definitely on the Tyler Boyer front, it's very interesting. He was involved with orphanages in the Ukraine, posted about helping Russian-speaking orphans or whatever it is years ago. I'm talking 10 years ago. I just don't like it. I don't like it. The vibes don't feel right. What was going on? Why was Turning Point, what was their campus doing? Why are people at Turning Point saying they don't know where the money's coming from? Why is no one seem to be grieving him in the right way? Why does it feel to me like a hostile takeover of a company? That's how I personally feel. Okay. That's how I feel. I feel like this was a hostile takeover of a company. And I feel that the company became bigger than Charlie because Charlie was too ambitious, and Charlie trusted people, and he trusted that people were in it for the right reasons. And what I have learned in politics is people are hardly ever in it for the right reasons. Truly. If you are getting into politics, you think you're going to meet good people, you're out of your mind. You are out of your mind. In fact, if you have a lot of friends in politics, I probably already know that I can't trust you because I know what it takes to keep friends in politics. Friends of Charlie Kirk, look what they're doing. Kash Patel, Charlie had him on his show. Kash Patel should be the FBI director. He fought for that. Look how Kash Patel is acting, right? 33 hours, wink, wink, Freemasons, wink, wink, wink. Oh, Tyler Robinson's file adds up to 33. Oh, the Freemason Lodge in St. George or in Utah is number 33. It's we get it, okay? This was an assassination at a very high level, and they do communicate with numerology. And if this sounds above your head, it's probably because you're not in my book club. But it is just, to me, the most sinister and sickening thing that these people can lay their heads on the pillow at night and they were just going to keep going, okay? I feel a lot is adding up, and that more people need to look into Turning Point Faith. They need to look into NAR. Again, I would follow Village Crazy Lady on X. She's fantastic at research, and she has been keeping them on their toes with research, and that is the area that she wants to go down. I can only chase so many rabbits, and I think what we have an understanding of is an apparatus that was about anything but faith, okay? I think actually when I now look at the picture and I'm learning more about Rob McCoy and knowing that he was the co-chair in 2024 or maybe in 2023 of Turning Point USA, They believe, and this is why the Christian Zionism thing becomes so important, that they can hijack our emotions and tell us that it's our biblical duty to support the state of Israel, because I think the state of Israel is probably involved in what is happening at the border, in what is happening overseas. It is definitively involved in all these wars. I mean, everywhere you look, Israel pops up. It doesn't matter if you're talking about Congo. They'll be like, well, look at what the Christians being slaughtered in Congo. Oopsies, Dan Gertler, the diamond thing. How are they number one in the diamond trade? They don't live in a place with diamonds that grow. So what are we even talking about? What are we talking about with this nation? What are we talking about? Charlie was a Christian Zionist because he believed that was true. And I actually believe it is a perversion of scripture. And I am begging you all, those of you who go to these mega churches, those of you who are evangelical, who follow these evangelical influencers, you are probably noticing about now that they are mum on the topic of Charlie Kirk. They want to move on. They want to let it be known that it's just a trans shooter. Not one of them is standing up and going, no. I spiritually feel that something is wrong. We all feel that something is spiritually wrong, and yet these people are trying to tell you if there's nothing to see here. That needs to be your wake-up call. If there is going to be a turning point, it is not going to be the one that they expected, okay? I sense that. There will be a turning point, but it is not going to be the one that they were banking on, where a bunch of Christians are sold slop and are told that it is their God duty to support the nation of Israel, while looking away from the fact that they're acting real weird in the hours after Charlie's assassination, doing way too much. Man is cartwheeling to tell you they had nothing to do with it. They are asking you to set aside your instinct, your gut instinct, your God instinct. You recognize something is wrong. That's why you're watching this show. You are recognizing that the people around Charlie are not acting in the way that they should be acting, that their emotionality is not meeting the moment of violence that we all witnessed. Instead, they're turning on me. They're making videos about me for investigating. They're lying to you about where Charlie was on his faith journey. That's hush hush. The Catholic thing must stay hush hush. Why? It's all kind of adding up, right? They're attacking Tucker Carlson because he's attacking Christian Zionism. They're angry at Charlie because it's looking like he might get off the Christian Zionist reservation, because that's what it is, okay? That's a plantation. And what they are mining is your emotion. What they are mining is your belief in God. And there's no question in my mind. It is corrupt, but it is also dangerous. It is dangerously corrupt. And I think that Charlie learned this lesson the hard way. I'm appreciative to all of you guys who are sending me emails. You're worried about my safety. Please stop sending those, okay? I understand what I am doing. I have read my messages over and over again with Charlie, ones that I have not even revealed. And this, to me, feels like a Christ mission, to wake up the world and make them aware of what snake it is that has wrapped around all of the nations. And it does so in the name of God. In the name of God, Christian Zionists are telling you to support a nation, okay, that has mass murdered children. You can watch the videos. They're telling you to do this because it is your biblical duty. When are you going to wake up? Charlie Kirk, he was the number one Zionist for a very long time, Christian Zionist for a very long time. Look at how they are treating him now that he is dead. They are lying on his name. You have to wake up, okay? It is my mission to share this information with you to get you to wake up, because I think Charlie was right. I think there was something about me and him together, okay, that was, I don't know, like just meant to happen, you know, not in the way that some of you guys are interpreting that. The kid, he was literally my kid brother, but I mean, like, there was a higher calling to his assassination, which he knew was coming. He knew he was going to die. He said from the time he started Turning Point USA that his life was going to be short, and he knew that I would be the one to fight for him. He knew that it was going to be me that was going to be the one that would fight for him. He knew that I would be his David, and it is that relationship that we described yesterday, the David and the Jonathan. He was my friend, okay? I watched him work, but more than anything else, I laughed with him. He was my friend. And you are not meant spiritually to watch your friend catch a bullet in the throat. And you've got two things after that happens that you can do, okay? You can run from it. You can run from it and say, I don't want to end up like him. Or you can fight like hell to find out who did it to him. And I have chosen option 2. All right?